Did you kill Robin and Lisa?
The killer headed to death row for the brutal rape and murder of 11-year-old Robin Cornell and 32-year-old Lisa Story is talking with NBC2. Joseph Zieler broke into their Cape Coral home and carried out the horrific attack, basically getting away with it for 3 decades until investigators finally caught him.
So before he is transferred to a state prison, NBC2 Samantha Serbin wanted to see if he's remorseful. She also spoke with Robin's mother to see how she's doing now.
Peter Kelly, he was more civil in my 20 minutes with him than I had ever seen Joseph Zieler be in court. As you'd expect, he went down the rabbit hole of I didn't do this or I didn't do that. But what we learned from this conversation and putting together this story may surprise you. 23 minutes via video visitation. That's the time we got with convicted Cape Coral killer Joseph Zieler.
I'm going to take out my keys so I can talk.
The 61-year-old man will be transferred to death row this week after a jury unanimously convicted him of killing Robin Cornell and Lisa Story back in 1990.
It's going to be overturned the minute that I get post-conviction DNA testing. I'm confident of that because I know where I've been. I ain't been there.
The trial was tense, filled with middle fingers, evil glares, elbow jabs, and a mouthpiece signed killer.
And the reason I did it, too, is because I wanted to go to death row. I wanted to because the reason for that is on death row, you get all your attorneys for your post-conviction for free. You get the best attorneys in the country.
The reasonable doubt ship has sailed for him.
Jan Cornell is Robin's mom. She's the one who found the girls raped and murdered all those years ago. He said he thinks that he will be cleared of this.
What about the DNA? What about all the actual science that was proven beyond a reasonable doubt by the scientific experts that that DNA could only belong to that man?
Forensics proved the chances of the DNA being anyone but Zeiler, 1 in 83 quintillion. That's 18 zeros. How do you fight that DNA statistic?
Let me tell you the difference. There was no victim DNA in the sample. Yes, it identified me as being in the apartment, but it wasn't mixed with Robin Cornell or Lisa Story.
He doesn't take responsibility for anything. I never heard him take responsibility for anything during this trial, any of his behavior. If you were an innocent man, first of all, how do you explain away the DNA that was in every orifice of their bodies? How do you explain that? Who framed him? How did that? I mean...
It's clear that Zeiler will never confess. Did you kill Robin and Lisa?
Absolutely not.
Do you feel any remorse for the whole situation?
Absolutely not. I have nothing to feel remorseful for.
So are you nervous heading off to death row this week?
No, absolutely not. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting to the next step of this, and it's going to be overturned, and I'm going to walk out of death row a free man.
He may put on an act that he's an innocent man. Jurors decided otherwise. At the end of the day, that's enough for Jan Cornell.
When I say closure, that's a word I absolutely hate, because you never... Closure. Closure means it's shut. It's going to bring peace, because that's all you can take from this.
She spent 33 years waiting for this moment.
It's never going to close the fact of I know what he did to them. Never going to be able to close that in my mind and close that in my heart, that their last minutes on this earth were that. The death penalty is really the only thing that can give me any peace in knowing that he'll never be free. Never be free to hurt his family, to hurt my family, my friends, or anyone else in this community.
Zeiler did admit to writing killer on his mouthpiece. He also says he hit his attorney because he was mad at him for releasing HIPAA information and sleeping with his aunt, which was another lie, guys.
So, Samantha, it sounds like he really has not changed.
Not at all, Kelly. So I reached out to the state attorney's office after his sentencing, after his conviction, and they actually told me in jail after all of this, he's actually been requesting images of young girls in a pornographic sense in disgusting detail.
Sick man.
That man is a monster.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Samantha.